one thing that happened a couple weeks ago after we talked about it on our Academy Awards episode, but Netflix, having a pretty big presence. After that, some drama. We talked briefly about it, but we mentioned Steven Spielberg kind of showing this little baby fit going, listen, I don't think it's fair that Netflix gets to be nominated because it's a TV service. Because it's because he was super salty that Roma won 3 Oscars, right? Yeah, so he was butthurt going, wait a minute, they should only be eligible for an Emmy because you can only watch their content on TV. Mm-hmm. Well, it's like, well, guess what, dick? I watched Ready Player One on TV the other day. I watched Jurassic Park on TV the other day. The only way my kids have ever viewed most of his movies are on TV. So everybody was like, what the F? Because he's just, it's this elitist Hollywood mentality of my way is the only way and nothing can change. And it's like, that's part of the problem with cinema. That's why big box studios are dying. Yeah. Because they haven't realized, guys, wake up, it's time to change. And then what happens a few days ago? Apple's big announcement, and whose dumb mug is on the big screen saying, hey, guess what? Don't worry, Tim, let me help you out. Apple TV Plus, Apple's streaming service on the coattails of Steven Spielberg.
He's just another gatekeeper. It's all these people that come to power and then they try and consolidate their power. And they try to hold
the power.
And that's what he's doing. Like Steven Spielberg's no different than, and you're seeing this trend all around. Like look at what's happening with news right now. Holy shit. Like people like CNN, MSNBC, they're all these mainstream news channels are just in flames right now, taking a beating to all these alternative news stations and things now. And it's because and they're trying so hard to maintain their power and their grasp. They want everybody just to go and filter through them.
Yeah, they're like, we are the voice only, period.
Yeah, and I think Steven Spielberg is super salty that he's not the director anymore, the guy.
He's not the king.
Do you remember back when we were younger? Yeah. It was like, that was it. He was the guy.
Steven Spielberg, what was the difference?
Yeah. He was the guy. Yeah. And I think that he's really mad that his power is diminished. Yeah. And he's trying to maintain it.
Well, and also he wants to funnel the money, so he's butthurt that Netflix hasn't called him or something. I don't know. And all of a sudden, he's now Apple TV guy. So it's like, how hypocritical. So obviously hypocritical to go, so I can't wait for Steven Spielberg to make a movie exclusively through Apple TV, and then when it comes time for Oscar season, what happens?
I saved a tweet that Netflix sent out because they had a response to Spielberg.
Yeah.
And I'm going to read it.
Go ahead.
It goes, we love cinema. Here are some things we also love. Access for people who can't always afford or live in towns without theaters, letting everyone everywhere enjoy releases at the same time, and giving filmmakers more ways to share art. These things are not mutually exclusive.
Dude, that was such a cool response. I saw that when it came out because I follow Netflix, and I was like, nice.
Dude, they nailed it.
That's the best middle finger. That's not a middle finger. That is a middle finger to Spielberg and everybody. All these little naysayers. It's like they're a business, of course, but I mean, it's a pretty good mission statement that you want to get people as much content as possible. I was super salty after the Apple thing. I was like, dude, F you, Steven Spielberg.
Yeah. He recently was, this is so paparazzi, but he recently was seen having dinner with this dude named Ted Sarandos, who's the chief content officer at Netflix. And they were having a lunch in like a very public space in near Hollywood, and so everyone could see. And for a lot of people, they saw it as like the meeting of the minds, the mafia, and like it was almost seen as like a truce, like
a call to peace.
Call to peace. Yeah. And so the dude's hypocritical. He's a gatekeeper, and he's trying to make it. He doesn't want another contender like Roma coming and stealing Oscars from him or any of his friends ever again, really.
Yeah, but the problem he's with like me and my exclusive club of elitists.
Yeah. And here's the thing that's weird too, is that he's such good friends with Scorsese, who's going to be releasing that show Irishman, that movie Irishman on Netflix. And so I thought it was really just a weird take to have. I think that Spielberg says stop bitching, and he should just ask Netflix if he could do a film for him or something.
Right?
It's like, if you can't beat him, join him, dude.
Right.
Like, don't try and maintain your power. Show us why you're fucking relevant to begin with.
Well, here, better than that, don't attack a streaming service for existing simply because you're backing another one. Mm-hmm. It's like, you can't throw shit at Netflix and then go, well, they're dumb. Guess what? I'm doing Apple TV, so whatever. And then, I mean, and it was so elitist.
Has he announced what he's doing?
Yeah, he's got some shows and all this stuff. He's going to be content driven. They had that Jennifer Aniston was there, a bunch of celebrities, like this elitist group of hipsters all got together, and they're like, we're with Apple TV Plus. Look at us. It's like, and it's almost as if they were trying to make Hulu, Netflix, and Amazon Prime like the weird, ugly neighbor that's crappy and poor, and they're like the super cool, fancy kids.
Well, I mean, that's Apple's MO.
Of course,
that's what they do.
Yeah. But it's funny, like, theirs is the first streaming service, major streaming service that I have zero interest in that, and will probably. I mean, we'll see, but I mean, Disney Plus, man, when they first whispered that, I was like, here's my credit card information. Yeah. I'm 100% in. Apple TV Plus, F you. The idea that with the show that they talked about, like the newsroom or whatever, where it's like a show that's behind the scenes of a talk show, and that's what the show's about. I'm like, why would anyone be interested in that? It's crazy.